In this video, I am covering the US government structures, functions and processes of the legislative branch, focusing on Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Here is a detailed breakdown of key topics related to Congress. Congress is a bicameral or two-chamber legislature established in Article 1 of the Constitution. The House of Representatives has 435 members, based on population. Members serve two-year terms with no term limits. Representation is based on population, determined by a census every 10 years. Qualifications for becoming a member include being at least 25 years old, a US citizen for 7 years, and a resident of the state they represent. Leadership in the House includes the Speaker of the House, who is the most powerful and elected by House members, majority and minority leaders who are party leaders, and whips, who manage party discipline and votes. The Senate has 100 members, with 2 per state. Senators serve 6-year terms, with staggered elections where 1/3 of the Senate is elected every 2 years. Representation is equal for all states. Qualifications for becoming a senator include being at least 30 years old, a US citizen for 9 years, and a resident of the state they represent. Leadership in the Senate includes the Vice President of the US, who presides over the Senate and only votes in ties, the President pro tempore, who is the senior-most member of the majority party, majority and minority leaders, and whips. Powers of Congress. Congress has powers outlined in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution. Enumerated or expressed powers: taxation and budgeting, power to tax, borrow money and spend for the general welfare. Commerce power regulates interstate and international trade. Military and war powers declares war, raises and maintains the military. Foreign affairs: the Senate approves treaties with a 2/3 vote and confirms ambassadors. Coining money and regulating currency, establishing courts below the Supreme Court. Impeachment power: the House charges with a simple majority vote, and the Senate holds the trial and convicts with a 2/3 vote. Implied powers, derived from the necessary and proper clause, also known as the elastic clause. This expands congressional power beyond what is explicitly stated. Congressional committees. Committees are essential in crafting, debating, and passing laws. Types of committees. Standing committees are permanent and specialized in policy areas. Examples include the House Ways and Means Committee, which focuses on taxes, and the Senate Judiciary Committee, which handles judicial nominations. Select committees are temporary and formed for special investigations, like the January 6th Committee. Joint committees have members from both chambers working together, such as the Joint Committee on Taxation. Conference committees resolve differences between House and Senate bill versions, compromising on the final bill version before sending it to the President. The legislative process: how a bill becomes a law. Introduction. A member of Congress introduces a bill. Committee review. The bill is assigned to a committee for research, hearings and potential amendments. Floor debate and vote. In the House, the Rules Committee sets debate limits. In the Senate, there is unlimited debate, which can lead to a filibuster unless ended by a cloture vote requiring 60 votes. Conference Committee. This committee resolves differences between House and Senate versions of a bill. Presidential action. The President can sign the bill, making it law, or veto the bill, which Congress can override with a 2/3 vote in both chambers. If the President ignores the bill and Congress is in session, it becomes law in 10 days. However, if Congress adjourns, it results in a pocket veto and the bill dies. Political parties have major influence in Congress. The majority party controls committees and sets the agenda. Party unity is enforced through whips and leadership. Divided government, where one party controls Congress and the other controls the presidency, often leads to legislative deadlock. Polarization makes compromise difficult. Congressional oversight. Congress monitors the executive branch through hearings, investigations, and budget control. They can subpoena officials, require testimony, and withhold funding. Elections and representation. House elections occur every 2 years, with all 435 seats up for re-election. Incumbency advantage plays a big role, thanks to name recognition, fundraising capabilities, and district loyalty. Gerrymandering is the redistricting process to favor one party. Senate elections happen every 6 years, with staggered elections where 1/3 of the Senate is up for election every 2 years. These races tend to be more competitive and high-profile than House races. Congressional behavior and theories of representation. There are several models of representation. The delegate model, where members vote based on their constituents' wishes. The trustee model, where members vote based on their own judgment. And the politico model, which is a mix of both delegate and trustee approaches. Legislative tactics include pork barrel spending, which is funding for local projects to win votes, and log rolling, where members trade votes to pass bills. In the Senate, there is the filibuster, where members can talk indefinitely to block a bill. A cloture vote requiring 60 votes can end a filibuster. Key Supreme Court cases. In Baker v. Carr in 1962, the court established the principle of one person, one vote, allowing federal courts to intervene in redistricting cases. Shaw v. Renault in 1993